Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Gipper Display launch event. We're kicking things off here in just a moment, but we want to let people file in. As we do, if you can put in the Zoom chat where you're tuning in from, drop in your name, where you're at. We'd love to hear from you, and super excited to jump into Gipper Display very shortly. As a reminder, for those of you that are in the webinar, we will have a Q&A session at the end. So drop your questions in the chat throughout the presentation, and we'll do our best to answer all of them. If we can't get to everything, we can certainly answer things after the fact. I'm seeing a bunch of folks already dropping their name and where they're from in the chat, which is awesome to see. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Jean. Hi, Jacob. Super pumped to have you all here. And again, a friendly reminder to folks, we're going to kick things off in a moment, but if you have questions as we're going through, drop them in the chat and we'll try to get to them during our Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. It's 1:03, so we're going to go ahead and kick things off here. I want to start off by formally introducing myself. My name is Matthew Glick. I'm the founder and CEO of Gipper and super excited to be sharing Gipper Display with all of you. I have the pleasure of being joined by an awesome colleague who I'm going to have introduce himself right now.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ryan Hwang. I'm the head of product here at Gipper. So I lead the product and engineering groups. And we're super excited to showcase and show off all of our hard work we've been doing around the new Gipper Display product.
Awesome. And Ryan and team have done a tremendous job. The end product is incredible and so excited to unveil it to all of you shortly here. For quick background, what is Gipper Display? Well, Gipper Display is the easiest and fastest way to manage content across TVs on campus and throughout your facilities. So many of you here likely have TVs up on the walls of hallways or outside of your gym that are supposed to be there as a communication tool. They're supposed to be this powerful way to get information out to folks walking by, whether that's students, teachers, staff members, visitors during events. But oftentimes, these TVs are turned off or showing out-of-date content. And I've literally visited schools. Last month, I was out in North Carolina, and I was at one school in particular, and I'm walking through the hallways, and I see these TVs, and they're just black, right? They're black, they're not being used. And the reason for this is because the way that you get content up on these screens is really time-consuming and really difficult to use traditionally. And importantly, it's disconnected from the ways that athletic departments and schools are creating content today. And so what we wanted to do with Gipper Display is we wanted to solve this problem and make it effortless to get your content up across your screen so you can communicate all the information you need to in an effective way that gets the message across and out to your community, but also looks great and on brand with everything else you're doing from a digital content standpoint. And I'm so excited to unveil Gipper Display and show you how this is done in just a moment. But the amazing thing that you'll see is that Gipper Display is fully integrated with the Gipper Engage platform. So for those of you who are already using Gipper, you likely, and for those of you who aren't using Gipper but know of us, you likely know about our Gipper Engage product, which thousands of schools and athletic departments across the country in all 50 states use to create graphics, to manage social media posts, and to create and share digital newsletters for their community. Takes seconds, works on any device, and makes you look like a pro program without having to have any of those resources within your department. But the thing with Gipper Display is that integration with Gipper Engage, where you have your graphics, you have your photos, your videos, your branding, and you're able to instantly access that content and update that across your screens on campus, whether you have one screen or 100 screens. And even better, the content that most of you are putting out on social media already through Gipper, game day announcements, score updates, weekly schedules, that's the exact same sort of content that you would want up on your TVs being communicated out to folks within your building. And in one click in Gipper, you can now publish your content directly to all your social media accounts and instantly to all of the TVs that you have on campus. So it completely eliminates steps and allows you to have even more effective communication, both online on social media and now on campus across your TVs. Now, I've said a lot, but we're gonna actually show you this in just a little bit. But there's one thing that sometimes we get asked, which is tied to our previous product, Gipper Touch, which we released a little over a year ago. And people ask, well, what's the difference between Gipper Touch and Gipper Display? So I want to just try to outline this really clearly so that for everyone here watching live, this is super, super clear as we move forward throughout the rest of the webinar. So I'm going to share my screen and let me hopefully get this up for you. Okay, can everyone see this here? Ryan, maybe you can give me a thumbs up.
Yep, things look all good.
Okay, perfect. So what you see on your screen here on the left side is we have Gipper Touch, and on the right side, Gipper Display. Now, Gipper Touch is software that powers interactive touchscreen displays inside of schools. And these are typically displayed in landmark areas on campus. So think outside of the gym or in a front lobby where there's high foot traffic. And schools are using them to showcase their Hall of Fame, athletic awards and records and achievements, even things like state championships and digital yearbooks. All of that history stored in a digital archive and able to be showcased in this really incredible, engaging, interactive way. We have two examples of schools that are actively using Gipper Touch today. This is Apex High School and Green Level High School in North Carolina. And you'll see one has a floor kiosk, the other a wall-mounted touchscreen. And importantly, these are interactive. And we've launched hundreds of touchscreen displays this past school year and are super excited by the feedback we've received from schools because again, with Gipper Touch, it's integrated with Gipper Engage. You have access to all of your graphics, your photos and videos, and you can seamlessly drop those into your touchscreen displays in seconds. But that's very different than Gipper Display because for Gipper Touch, it's really geared around the interactive experience, being able to showcase all of that history and the achievements. So many of our schools have run out of space for things like their physical trophy cases and Hall of Fame plaques on the wall, but they still want a way to showcase that and showcase the unlimited content and photos and videos to really bring that to life. But with Gipper Display, as I said earlier, it's all about solving that problem of on-campus communication when it comes to utilizing TVs that you have across your facilities. The great thing is that you can use the Gipper platform, our Engage product, our Touch product, and our Display product now to completely solve your challenges when it comes to social media, your digital presence, and now on-campus communication and marketing with both Gipper Touch and Gipper Display. But they are different, they're distinct products, and today's webinar is all about Gipper Display and making sure that you know how quick and easy it is to manage content across your TVs using our latest product. So that being said, I've said a lot already. We're gonna show you a demo in just a little bit, but I wanna actually let our customers do the talking. There's so many of you out there, rightly so, who are skeptical when it comes to new products. As a busy athletic director, you've limited time, a never-ending task list of responsibilities. And so I think it's always helpful to hear from other folks like you who are using Gipper Display currently and get a feel for what this is actually like, what problems this is solving, and what's the impact. So let's go ahead and play the video and listen to a couple of our customers.
Hi, I'm Kyle Jarrell. I'm the athletic director at Dunkirk City School District in Dunkirk, New York.
My name is Colin Segley. I'm the athletic director at Green Level High School in Cary, North Carolina.
We have 6 screen total, 2 in our athletic hallway. We have 2 in one of our main hallways, and then we have 2 in the lobby. And really, we just wanted to showcase what was going on in our school, especially athletics. I would put stuff up for a counselor or a principal whenever they need it, but I like to highlight anything athletic-wise. So pictures, scores, anything like that.
Outside of our main gym, we have 2 television displays that we use to advertise athletic events to our students and community during the day, but also in the evenings during our programming.
The way this would work is I had to download it, then put it in that folder, put whatever else that was in that folder, and then go to airtame.com, sign into Google Drive, then go find that folder, click on the folder, then click what we wanted to be on the TV screens. And then we had to update how long do you want it up there for, how quickly do you want the transitions for, and then you click save, and then you could assign it to multiple screens, but then usually within a few hours it's frozen on some screens it's fine, but then to get that back on the screen we would have to do the whole process all over.
So before Gipper Display, getting content up on our televisions outside our main gyms was wonky at best and took a ton of time. Major time suck in the mornings, 15-20 minutes to get it how I wanted. It
would be hours, and it gets to a point where you just don't do it, so then nothing is on the screens because it just becomes so frustrating that like 2-3 times a day I would have to go in and do that. And then what's annoying is it's not just one TV, it's okay, we're good. Then you're walking around and then it happens to another TV. So it wouldn't just fix the problem for all. It would basically, okay, I reset this one TV. Now I saw the TV in the athletic wing is now frozen. I would have to go do it again and do it again. So honestly, if I stayed on top of it like I should, it probably would have taken me 5-6 hours a week.
Now with Gipper Display, essentially it's with the click of a button. We're using a lot of the content that we're already creating for social media to put up on those televisions. What was taking 15 or 20 minutes literally is now taking 15 or 20 seconds. It's been amazing.
For me, it's a huge time saver. I am someone who athletic director is not my whole job. It's only basically half of my job. My other side of my job is a literacy coach. And the fact that I can now have our TVs up to date, it allows me to push out content quickly. The students love to see it. It has made my life so much easier. It has taken something that took hours to minutes.
I think my favorite part right now, though, is just the ability to, when I am creating a graphic for social media use, with one click of a button, I can also send that graphic directly to our televisions outside the main gym in just one step, which is incredibly easy and just amazing to use. I've also found it to be very, very reliable. The technology has been great. There doesn't seem to be any downtime or latency. We essentially run the TVs 24 hours a day, and the technology, the platform has been seamless. It was an awesome transition.
Literally, we just can upload it within 30 seconds to all of our TVs, and I do not have to touch it. For me, it just is a time saver. It allows me to, for example, we have athletic interns. They can do it quickly because it's so literally easy of click, and it's usually already clicked for you. And then you just click publish, and then it's everywhere. And it just makes life so much easier.
If time is of a concern to you and you have limited time, as we all do, Gipper Display is a no-brainer. It has saved us a tremendous amount of time. We get a ton of comments from not only our students, but our parents who, for instance, were here last night for our spring awards ceremony, commenting on the upgrade outside the gym. And, to us at this point, it's become, part of the flow at school, but it's always nice to get those comments from members of our community. So really, really excited about it, and it will save you a ton of time.
Awesome. So thank you, Colin and Kyle, obviously, for participating in that video. It's awesome to hear from actual ADs out in the field doing the hard work. And as you heard from both of them, Gipper Display is really about saving you time. And I want to show you exactly how this works so you can see this firsthand for yourself. And so I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to run through a bit of a demo, and then we'll wrap up with a Q&A. And again, if you have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat, and we'll do our best to answer them during the Q&A period in just a little bit. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the demo. So I'm going to share my screen, and hopefully we can see these 3 windows here. And once again, I'm going to call on Ryan. Ryan, can you give me the heads up that, yes, we're good on the screens?
Yep, things are looking good.
Awesome. So I want to give a little bit of a lay of the land here. On the left, we have this one window, and this is Gipper. If you're using Gipper, this should look very familiar, of course. We're looking at our graphics dashboard. But then over here on the right, we have 2 different windows. And these windows are both showing a weekly schedule graphic that I've created in Gipper. And they're both mimicking TVs. So you can imagine these are your 2 TVs that you may have outside of your gym that students, staff, teachers walk by on a regular basis during the day, and family members and visitors walk past during events in your gym in the evenings. Now, I want to show you how easy it is to update content across these TVs all through Gipper. And so we're going to start by showing you what it's like when you have something that you're wanting to post to social media, but it's also something that would be great if you could have it up and across your TVs. Now, historically, this is super time consuming and painful, but with Gipper Display, it's seamless. So let's imagine that we have a game day and we want to push that out across social and our TVs. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of our game day graphics here. And let me refresh here. So I'm going to click on this game day graphic and I'm going to select my template. And the template will appear, and I'm going to use our auto brand feature to just apply our branding instantly. And then let's just imagine, for the sake of the demo, that this graphic is ready to go. And I'm going to go ahead and click publish in the top right corner. Now, if you're already using Gipper, this should seem super familiar because this is the publishing flow. You hit publish, you can select your social media accounts, and then you can push this out across all of your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter accounts in one click. The key difference now is you can also publish it across your TVs. And to do that, you click around this area where it says display content. So I can click on display content. I can click on now this weekly announcement slideshow, which is assigned to my 2 screens, which are over there on the right. And now when I hit publish, this is going to go out to all of my social media accounts and across these 2 TVs in one click. The awesome thing is I can also schedule for later. So I can hit schedule for later. I can select the day or time in the future for this to go out automatically, not only to social media, but also to my TV screens. For the purpose of the demo, I'm going to go ahead and hit publish. And you're going to see that on the right side, this slideshow is going to turn this single graphic, the weekly schedule, is going to automatically turn into a slideshow. And the second slide that's going to show up is going to be this game day graphic. And boom, just like that, it's added. And so you can be anywhere. You can be at home, right? You can be at another team's event and posting this out, and it's going to automatically go out across these TVs with one click, just as you saw there. Now that's awesome, but there may be times where you're wanting to update other types of content that maybe you're not putting out on social media. And that's seamless in Gipper Display as well. To do that, let's click home. And I'm going to show you over here on the left where you now see this display section. Now, the display section is where you can access 2 Gipper products, Gipper Touch for powering your interactive touchscreen displays, and Gipper Display for creating and managing content across your TVs. So I'm going to click into displays. And over here, you'll see my touch content. If you're not using Gipper Touch, you of course won't see this. You'll just see your display content. And you can think of your display content as different slideshows that you may want to put up across your screens on campus. The awesome thing with Gipper is that this is really, really easy to do. And you can create kind of standard weekly slideshows of announcements. You can create things like digital concessions menus, where maybe for a certain period of time during an event, you want a screen to be showing a menu. Or even things which I call like moment in time content, where maybe you're having a signing day event on campus and you want to take over your 2 screens outside of your gym to be celebrating and showcasing your student athletes that are participating in signing day. You can create all of that different type of content super quickly and easily within Gipper. And to show you how this works, I'm going to click into that weekly announcement slideshow. And you're going to see on the left, we have the 2 slides. The first was that weekly schedule graphic. The second is that new slide that we just published directly to social media and to our TVs. If you want to add new content, you just hit this plus button and you can add images or videos. And again, this is fully integrated with Gipper. So you can access your saved designs. You can, of course, upload directly from your device, or you can access your gallery where you have your photos and videos already stored. So I could drop in a new graphic just like that, and then I click update in the top right corner, and it's going to push those updated changes instantly across the screen. So now we have, of course, this first slideshow, which is that weekly schedule. It will cycle into the second slide, which is the game day. And then finally, it will cycle to that third slideshow, which is our signing day graphic. All of that managed through Gipper Display, where where you can create and store your graphics that you're making in Gipper, or you could upload content that you have. Maybe someone sends you an awesome video that you want to include, or a principal has a flyer that they want up on the screen. You can make it really easy to get all of that content up across your slideshows and up on your TVs. Now I'm going to go ahead and drop out of this screen, and I want to talk through an example where, okay, we have our 2 gym TVs, but maybe we want to take one of those TVs, which is positioned by our concession stand, and we want to change it to a concessions menu because we have an event that's about to happen. And we want to have a digital menu that we can use to communicate, what's available from a concession standpoint. This is seamless from Gipper Display. So to do it, you go to this screen section, and the screen section is where you can connect and manage the different TVs that you have connected to Gipper Display. So I'm going to click there, and you're going to see that I have my 2 screens. I have my gym screen 1 and gym screen 2, which are both over here on the right. And they're both playing my weekly announcement slideshow. Now, if I want to change what they're playing, right? Because in this scenario, I want to take gym screen 2 and I want it to play the concessions menu. It's as easy as clicking and then selecting my concessions menu content. And just like that, instantly, gym screen 2 is showing that digital menu. And then if the event's over and you want to go back to those weekly announcements, you just click and adjust to weekly announcements. It's that simple. Both screens can be playing different content. They could be playing the same content. You can switch it up, and you can do this across as many screens as you'd like on campus. Total flexibility based on whatever your needs are. And that is really it with Gipper Display. It's designed to just be seamless, to give you time back, and to make sure that the content that you're sharing across your TVs looks great and on brand. With that being said, I want to go ahead now and just talk a little bit about pricing. So what does pricing look like for Gipper Display, and how can you go ahead and get started? So in terms of Gipper Display, there are 2 costs to be aware of. There's the annual subscription cost for a license to the software, and then there's a one-time hardware cost for the media player. And the media player is this device right here that plugs into the back of your TV and allows you to connect the TV to Gipper so that you can manage the content from anywhere through the Gipper Display product. Now, I'm going to share my screen and just walk you through this pricing with a visual so you can see it. So up on my screen, I have 2 products. I have Gipper Touch and Gipper Display. So let's focus on Gipper Display on the right. There's 2 types of software pricing. There's a per screen price and an unlimited screen price per school. So the per screen price is $500 a year per screen, or $3,000 a year for unlimited screens within your school. You can start with 1 screen and add additional screens over time, and then of course go up to that unlimited screen plan if you'd like. The hardware cost is $550 for the media player. And again, that's this device right here that plugs in to the back of your TV and allows you to connect it directly to Gipper Display. That's a one-time cost that you set up once, connect it, and you don't have to worry about it again. High performance, and the content looks great. So that's the price that is on top of your existing Gipper subscription. You do need a Gipper Engage plan in order to utilize Gipper Display. But certainly if you're interested and you want to learn more, I believe we put some links in the chat. If we haven't, Tara, if you could drop those in, that would be awesome. Where you can book one-on-one time with our team to talk through your current setup, your goals, and how you'd like to get started. We already have this set up across schools throughout the country and are seeing time savings north of 90% versus prior solutions. And so we're super excited to put this in more folks' hands to be able to help more schools and ADs when it comes to managing content across their TVs. With that being said, I'm going to stop the screen share and we're going to jump into the Q&A portion. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull up some of these questions. I know Jen has been answering some of them live here, but let's start here with a question. Can you send, this is from Jeffrey Costello, can you send different content to different TVs? So for example, if we use this for more than just athletics, can we push out different content, slides, graphics to different TVs? Yes. So the answer to that is yes. As you saw in the demo, I think that question might have been asked a little bit before I actually showed the real example. you can have different content across whichever TVs that you like. You have ultimate flexibility. But one thing I also want to add that might be helpful in this scenario where you have different people involved, maybe outside of the athletic department, is that you can actually give access to different types of people within your school to Gipper Display so that they can be involved with updating the content. So you can have multiple people updating maybe a school slideshow of announcements that's up on some screens that's kind of rotating through athletics, activities, general announcements. And a principal, an assistant principal, an athletic director, and a media specialist could all be working within that slideshow in Gipper together. But you can also give individual people specific access to only one slideshow, like maybe you have a booster parent and you just want to give them the ability to update content across the digital concessions menu. You can do that as well. So the point is ultimate flexibility makes this really easy, kind of no matter what the use case is for you within a school. Awesome. Ryan, as we're going through this, I don't know if there's any other questions that you want to call out that come to mind.
Yeah, one question came up that got a little bit of reaction from some others, but it was from Drayson. It said, one problem I see specifically around the game day graphics is that, the social media formats might not be perfect for these TVs. And so a couple things I wanted to address there. First off, if you take your social media graphic and you do publish it to a TV, it will still look good. It's still supported. And so that's definitely something that you can continue to do. And then something that we're doing on our roadmap and that we're looking into right now is just, different ways to help you all just better support multi-format, especially when we talk about display. So that's something that we're looking into actively on our roadmap. So that when you do publish something, that it can be in the correct format across these TVs and on social media.
And then there was a question about how were videos added. So this is from Connor. Great question. So I can actually go ahead and share my screen and just show you this. But let me pull this up again. So right here, we're back in Gipper. We're in the display section. Let's jump to that weekly announcement slideshow. I can go ahead and click this plus button to add a new slide, and I can choose add video. And from here, I could either upload video directly, or if I have a video stored in my gallery, I can click and drop that right in. As simple as that. If there's any follow-up questions about that, Connor, please let us know. But hopefully that answered that directly. Then there's another question here about, are there any challenges with school IT and Gipper? And I think as we all know, there's never any issues with school IT. No. Ryan, maybe you want to take this one and just talk through IT, but also just the setup process generally when it comes to Gipper Display for someone who maybe is just starting from scratch.
Yep. So definitely the Gipper Display setup process is fairly simple. There are a couple different ways that things can be set up. But ultimately, the main portion about working with IT is really, you're going to receive a device that is going to power the experience. So it's the TV and then that media player. So setting up that player usually takes less than 15 minutes. It can be done with or without your IT department, depending on, how your school operates. But the biggest thing in the setup process is really configuring the device for Wi-Fi. So that's the part where, you're going to typically, need to work with your IT department just to make sure that you have the correct Wi-Fi credentials, that you're setting that all up correctly. But once that's all set up, once again, it usually takes less than 15 minutes. It'll eventually just be installed at the location, and then it'll just be able to operate 24/7.
And then there's a question, Ryan, that I want to highlight from Jason Morris. Just to confirm, if we have our own Chromebooks, we can use those for displays, correct?
Yes. So, and then I'll first talk about the Chromebooks, and then I also want to talk just more broadly. I think there are a few different questions about, hey, I have some type of existing setup. Can this work with my existing setup? So first off, on the Chromebook side, so if you're a school, if you're a Google school, your IT department is currently using either Chromebooks or Chromeboxes that are powering TVs today, somewhere on campus, then Gipper Display can work directly with any of those devices. So, any of those Chromeboxes or Chromebooks that exist today, or if there are others that you want to create at a new location, Gipper Display works perfectly with all that. You will not need that bright side device that Matt was showing. You can work directly with your IT department. When it comes to that setup, that is even quicker because these devices are kind of already configured. So, within minutes, Gipper Display can be configured onto those existing Chromebooks or Chromebox devices.
The big thing that we just say is, check with our team first, because we know that, we want to make sure that the setup is successful, and we want to make sure that there's no, we want to cross our T's and dot our I's and make sure that ultimately you get the setup that works effectively for you. And so just double check with our team. Let us help. If we need to chat with IT just to get things set up properly, we're happy to do it, of course. The important thing is that you can get set up and be able to manage this content seamlessly. Awesome. Then there is a question: what is the process like to take content down from displays? This is from Gabriel. Or schedule how long certain displays are up. So I can share my screen again, just to bring this to life here. Give me one moment to pull up the window. Okay, so over here on the left, we have the weekly announcement slideshow. I just had, as an example, right, added that slide 4 to talk about the video. If you want to remove anything, you can just delete and then push that update. And this will update again instantly across your screens. There is no automatic scheduling of content, though that is definitely something that we're looking at. So as with everything with Gipper, more updates on the way. Ryan, have I missed any questions here? Anything that you want to pull out?
One question that just came in around the limits around videos. So the limits today for a single slide for a video will be 300 megabytes. And then from a length standpoint, it's anywhere from 3 seconds to up to 5 minutes. So definitely, if you're looking to upload that 2 to 3 minute video, it should definitely work fine.
Awesome. And then there's a question from Brendan around using an existing digital signage tool, and can we work with it? So this is a great question. I think this is relevant kind of broadly for folks that might have something in place already. Ryan can talk a little bit about this as well, but the answer is generally yes, you can work with your digital signage provider in partnership with Gipper Display. But we always ask that you speak with us one-on-one to make sure that we can ensure that setup is correct and seamless for you. The one thing to keep in mind is that when you're using Gipper Display in partnership with another system, is that you then are relying on that other system for things like the control of the screen. And so if there's issues on their end, obviously, we're not able to control that directly. Versus if you're using our media player, we have full control of the screen, full control of the performance, and can make sure that this is a seamless experience end to end for you. But the simple answer is right, yes, but just set up time with our team, reach out, and we can make sure that that setup is done appropriately. And if you do it that way, you don't need a media player, to be clear. So you don't need to add a media player on top. Ryan, anything that you want to add there?
No, that was perfect.
And Brendan, let us know if there's any questions about that. Feel free to follow up in the chat or afterwards. So great question, Josh. Will Gipper Display work with a basic subscription for Gipper Engage? Or is there an upgrade to Gipper Pro or Premier required? It will absolutely work with Gipper Engage Basic. There's no upgraded Pro, Premier, whatever Engage plan you have, you're good to go. And then you just add on Gipper Display based on the number of screens or the unlimited screen plan if you'd like. Awesome. Totally understand, Joshua. That's awesome. I'm just scrolling through the chat here. There's been a lot of questions, which is awesome to see. Great engagement from everyone. Just want to make sure that we get everything answered. Ryan, if there's anything that I missed, please jump in. And of course, for folks in the chat, whether you ask a question or not, if anything comes up after the fact, please, please, please just reach out. We're, of course, here to help with any questions. But I think generally, we've answered everything here. Jason, Colin, thank you so much. That's very kind of you to jump into the chat there. And it's been awesome working with you both and so many other ADs as part of leveraging Gipper Display this spring. And again, just so grateful for all the engagement. I know this time of year is crazy for folks in schools. It's always crazy, but with graduation and kind of heading off into summer, I know there's a lot wrapping up. So just so grateful to have all of you here with us. It's an absolute pleasure. We're super fired up about Gipper Display and what its impact is for schools across the country. And so please don't hesitate to reach out, and hopefully we can get you all set up soon. Again, links are in the chat right now. Tiara from our team just dropped in another one where you can book time with our team to get started with Gipper Display. Please go ahead, book time. I think we're already booked up, unfortunately, for the next couple of days, but there's openings in June, and we'd love to get you started. Oh, there's a late question here from Josh. Due to fiscal budgets closing out, what is the turnaround time to get the equipment once purchased? So the media players will typically arrive within 2 weeks. It's pretty quick, and we say 2 weeks just to give buffer in case there's any sort of shipment challenges in a regional area. But this is, you're going to get these devices, fairly quickly. I know, Jenna, if there's any more that you want to drop in there to help Josh in the chat, that would be awesome. But again, yeah, media players, they arrive quickly within 2 weeks. Awesome. All right, folks. Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you for joining. And thank you for all the hard work, of course, to the team for bringing Gipper Display to life. And we're so excited to see this in more and more schools across the country. Take care. Have a great rest of your school year and graduation. Cheers, folks.